General Syndulla.
Though I wish it were under more pleasant circumstances. I'm afraid we've lost your prisoner. I prepared a briefing to get you caught up.
Just like old times.
They took out an entire security detail and scuttled one of our new starships. Who are they?
I don't know.
They vanished without a trace.
The day isn't a total loss.
Star map?
This one holds the secret Morgan's after. The location of the last missing Imperial Grand Admiral, Thrawn.
That's not possible. Thrawn died at the Battle of Lothal.
Never confirmed.
If Thrawn survived, does that mean Ezra?
I hope so.
Let's take a look at this map.
We cannot show you the map. The device is locked.
Never a straight line with you, Jedi, is it? You know who could help you with this.
I do. I'm not sure she'll want to help.
She'll do it. For Ezra.
Hera Syndulla was more than just the pilot of the Ghost. She was its anchor. From the very first days of the crew's formation, she carried a vision larger than any one mission. Hera understood that fighting the Empire wasn't only about blaster fire and sabotage. It was about giving people hope, building trust where fear had taken root, and keeping the team together when the galaxy seemed determined to tear them apart. Her leadership style was subtle, even understated. While others might lead with grand speeches or fiery defiance, Hera led by example. She was the first to rise and the last to rest, meticulously planning every jump to hyperspace, every supply run, and every risky infiltration. She didn't just give orders, she listened. Hera could read her crew like she read the stars, knowing when to push and when to pull back. She gave Ezra the space to grow, Kanan the stability to focus, Sabine the freedom to create, Zeb the respect to stand tall, and Chopper, well, enough patience to let him be himself. But Hera's strength wasn't only in strategy, it was in resilience. Time and again, the Ghost crew faced loss, betrayal, and crushing setbacks. When missions went wrong and morale dipped, it was Hera who quietly steadied the ship, reminding them why they fought. She never lost sight of the bigger picture, even when her heart was breaking. Her dream of a united rebellion was more than an ideal. It was the compass that guided every decision she made. Her personal sacrifices were immense. Hera often put the cause above her own happiness, even when it meant parting ways with loved ones or risking her life without hesitation. She carried the weight of responsibility for every soul under her command, from her crewmates to the wider Rebel Alliance. And though she rarely sought recognition, her influence reached far beyond the cockpit of the Ghost. She was a bridge between scattered cells of resistance, a voice of reason in chaos, and a symbol of the rebellion's enduring spirit. Hera's bond with Kanan Jarrus revealed another side to her leadership, a deep capacity for love and vulnerability. Their partnership wasn't just romantic, it was built on mutual trust, shared burdens, and unspoken understanding. Even after Kanan's ultimate sacrifice, Hera didn't falter. She carried his legacy forward, ensuring that his dream and theirs would live on. In the end, Hera Syndulla's impact on the galaxy can't be measured in battles won or ships flown. It's in the lives she touched, the courage she inspired, and the unity she forged out of fear and doubt. While heroes like Ezra Bridger and Kanan Jarrus may have captured the spotlight, it was Hera who made their victories possible. She wasn't just the pilot of the Ghost, she was its soul. And in the vast darkness of the galaxy, Hera's steady light guided them all home. What makes a true leader in a galaxy far, far away? It's not just flying a ship. It's holding a team together when the galaxy itself is falling apart. From the moment Hera Syndulla took the controls of the Ghost, she was more than a skilled pilot. She was the compass guiding her crew through every twist of the rebellion. Amidst the chaos of Imperial oppression, unpredictable missions, and a mismatched group of freedom fighters, Hera became the grounded, practical anchor who kept them from drifting apart. She didn't just give them a ship, she gave them a home. Hera's leadership was never loud or ostentatious. While Kanan Jarrus often stood at the front lines with a lightsaber in hand, and Ezra Bridger's journey from street thief to Jedi drew much of the spotlight, Hera's role was quieter, but no less vital. She saw the big picture when others were caught in the moment. Every mission, every risk, every daring escape was part of a larger strategy to not only survive but to build something greater, a unified rebellion capable of toppling the Empire. Her emotional labor was constant and often unseen. Hera was the one who mediated tensions between Zeb and Ezra when their banter threatened to turn into real conflict. She gave Sabine Wren the freedom to explore her art and identity while gently guiding her toward causes that mattered. She understood Chopper's gruff exterior and let him be his chaotic self because she knew even the crankiest astromech had his place in the fight. Hera wasn't just their commander. She was their confidant, their sounding board, and, when necessary, their reality check. And she carried her own burdens without letting them crush her crew. Hera had her share of heartaches. Estrangement from her family on Ryloth, the constant fear of losing her partner, and the knowledge that every mission might be their last. Yet she rarely let those struggles show. Instead, she channeled her pain into focus, her fears into determination. She understood that a leader's steadiness could mean the difference between a crew that fought on and one that fell apart. Strategically, Hera was unmatched. She knew when to strike and when to retreat, balancing bold risk with calculated planning. She coordinated with other rebel cells, navigated political divisions, and earned the respect of key figures in the alliance. Her ability to think several moves ahead was what allowed the Ghost crew to survive against impossible odds. Many of their most daring victories, missions that seemed like certain suicide, were possible because of Hera's foresight and adaptability. Her relationship with Kanan revealed a softer but equally powerful side of her leadership. They didn't need grand gestures to prove their bond. Their trust was built in the quiet moments, shared glances before a mission, silent understanding in the midst of chaos. Hera's love for Kanan didn't distract her from the fight, it strengthened her resolve. And when the time came for Kanan to make his ultimate sacrifice, Hera didn't crumble. She mourned, but she also carried his memory forward, embodying the same courage he had shown her. Even after the Ghost Crew's adventures became part of Rebel history, Hera's influence endured. She rose to the rank of general in the Rebel Alliance, her leadership guiding fleets instead of just a single crew. Yet she never lost the qualities that made her the heart of the Ghost: compassion, pragmatism, and the unwavering belief that people, not weapons, win wars. Hera Syndulla's legacy is not one of flashy heroics, but of quiet strength. She proved that leadership isn't about commanding from the front. It's about ensuring that everyone makes it home, that each person's strengths are recognized, and that hope survives even in the darkest moments. In a galaxy dominated by fear, Hera built a family out of misfits and turned them into a force that changed the course of history. She was more than a pilot. She was the soul of the Ghost, the voice of reason in chaos, and the heart that kept the crew and the rebellion beating. Without Hera, the Ghost might have been just another ship. With her, it became something far greater, a home, a refuge, and a symbol of what they were fighting for. In the heart of the Ghost, amidst the hum of engines and the chaos of rebellion, Hera Syndulla embodied something rare in a galaxy consumed by war. A mother's instinct. Not bound by blood or lineage, her sense of care and responsibility extended to every member of her crew. She didn't just command them, she nurtured them, building a found family out of broken pieces and giving each one a place to belong. For Hera, leadership was never about issuing orders from a distance. It was about understanding the people she led, their histories, their fears, their hopes, and creating an environment where they could heal and thrive. Her ship was more than a vessel. It was a sanctuary for those who had been cast adrift by the galaxy's cruelty. Kanan Jarrus was perhaps the clearest example of Hera's gift for seeing the person beneath the mask. A former Jedi in hiding, Kanan carried the weight of survivor's guilt from Order 66. He had been adrift for years, unsure of his place in a world where the Jedi Order was gone. Hera recognized his potential long before he was ready to embrace it. She gave him space to grow back into the role of a teacher, encouraged his bond with Ezra, and helped him rediscover the courage to stand for something greater than himself. Her unwavering belief in him became a quiet force, reminding Kanan that he wasn't alone, and that he could still be a Jedi, even in the shadows of the Empire. With Sabine Wren, Hera's approach was different. Sabine was fiercely independent, her Mandalorian pride often clashing with the need for teamwork. She was also carrying deep scars from her past, a young woman who had once served the Empire and paid dearly for it. Hera gave Sabine the freedom to express herself through her art, never trying to stifle her creativity or her need for individuality. But when Sabine's past caught up with her, Hera was there with firm guidance, helping her face her fears without judgment. She understood that Sabine's fire wasn't something to be extinguished. It was a strength that, once directed, could become a powerful force for good. Then there was Ezra Bridger, the street-smart orphan whose mistrust of authority was matched only by his longing for connection. When Ezra first boarded the Ghost, he was skeptical of Hera's intentions, viewing the crew as just another group that might use him and discard him. Hera's patience and persistence slowly dismantled those walls. She gave Ezra responsibility when he needed to prove himself, discipline when he needed to be grounded, and unconditional support when he failed. Through her guidance, Ezra came to see the Ghost not just as a ship, but as his home, and its crew as his family. Kara Zeb, Aurelius was the gruff, battle-hardened warrior who hid his grief behind humor and bravado. The destruction of his homeworld and the loss of his people left wounds that ran deep. Hera never pushed Zeb to open up before he was ready, but she made it clear that he was valued, not just as muscle, but as a person. She respected his sense of honor and gave him roles that played to his strengths, while also making sure he knew he had a safe place to rest. In many ways, Hera helped Zeb reconnect to the idea of community, something he had thought was lost forever. Hera's mother-hen persona was not about coddling or shielding her crew from hardship. She understood that the galaxy they lived in was unforgiving. Instead, it was about giving them the tools, the trust, and the belief they needed to face those hardships together. She balanced compassion with accountability, allowing each crew member to grow into their best self without losing sight of the bonds that united them. This nurturing nature extended far beyond the Ghost. Hera's reputation for fairness, empathy, and resolve made her a unifying figure among other rebel cells. In a rebellion often fragmented by differing priorities and political tensions, Hera's ability to connect with people on a personal level became a quiet but essential glue. She reminded everyone from lone smugglers to seasoned soldiers that the rebellion was not just about strategy and firepower. It was about protecting lives, preserving hope, and ensuring that no one had to stand alone. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of Hera's mother role was that it transcended the crew's time together. Even when their paths diverged, the lessons and values she instilled endured. Ezra carried her faith in him into the most dangerous moments of his journey. Sabine drew on Hera's example when leading her own missions. Zeb never forgot the feeling of belonging she gave him, using it to forge new alliances. And Kanan, until his final moment, stood as a man strengthened by the love and trust Hera had shown him. In a galaxy defined by loss, Hera Syndulla created something profoundly rare, a family bound not by blood, but by choice and loyalty. Her instinct to protect, guide, and believe in her crew turned a ragtag group of rebels into something greater than the sum of their parts. And in doing so, she not only helped keep the rebellion alive, she reminded them all what they were fighting for. Hera's legacy is proof that in the midst of war, it's not just blasters and starfighters that win battles. Sometimes, it's a home-cooked meal in the Ghost's galley, a patient word of advice, or the knowledge that someone will be waiting for you when you return. That was Hera Syndulla's gift to the rebellion and to her family.